This is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on YouTube. The SFL is headed down to Georgia. We're looking for a great football game. The Atlanta Swarm, winners last week, look to keep that winning vein. In strolls the LA Lycans, sitting at 0-2 and need a win. Far from home, can they get it done? One thing's for sure, we're going to have some fun. Good evening, folks. I'm Tyler Falk. We welcome you to one of the loudest buildings in the SFL, The Hive. I'm joined by Luke Schreiner and Bismarck Wright on stats, Cameron Irvine in production, and of course my broadcast partner, Brett Solberg. Brett, on paper, it looks like we might be in for an old Wild West shootout.
Yeah, it truly is that. I marked this down as the werewolves against the giant bugs. But these two teams need to find either a bite or a sting into their defense. LA has allowed over 30 points a game through their first two matchups, whereas Atlanta is allowing teams to run all over them, over 350 yards on defense so far. These two teams need to shore up defensively so they have a chance on this one, but it can get nasty very quickly if these offenses have anything to say for it.
Atlanta in their deep navy blues, and LA in white and yellows as we are set for kickoff, and here we go from the Hive in Atlanta, Georgia. On the return from the Lycans, it is Darius Aniguez, and he will get his return all the way up to the 30-yard line, and that is where the Lycans will set up shop for their first possession of the ball game. Led out by quarterback Sully Richardson. The tailbacks are Logan Jack and Brandon Brennenstall. Fullback is Jalen Wells. Wide receivers are Darius Aniguez, Chris Lee, LZ Pryor, and Bubba Tree. Tight ends are Tommy Rahman and Jack Flash, and on the line, leading the O-line in the trenches, it's tackles Oren Wilds and Bob Hoska and Kristen Swifty at guard. LA will start off in a split back formation here from their own 30-yard line. Handoff goes to Logan Jack. He goes left, and he's actually going to lose a yard. Defensive pressure from Leo Jefferson, amongst other defensive linemen getting behind the line.
And right now, the pass game has looked spectacular for the first two games. Sully Richardson has been a dynamo through his first two contests, but that run game has been something to be left desired. Only 94 yards through two games.
They're going up against a veteran backfield led by multiple players in their 8th or 9th season in the league. Pass middle, looking for the tight end, wide receiver LZ Pryor, no doubt deflected away by Jay Miraculous, one of those experienced DBs, and it brings up third down.
Yeah, and again, those corners really have to keep an eye on the two wide receivers that usually get a lot of touches, LZ Pryor and Chris Lee, but Jack Flash is going to get his touches too if Sully gets his chance.
5-step drop from Sully. He's back to throw, looking deep into triple coverage. Somehow finding a receiver. It's Aniguez. My goodness, how tight of a window he had to fit that through.
That's literally putting a penny through a pinhole is what Sully Richardson did. Triple coverage as that ball was going in the air. You had Bubba Tree in the vicinity as well. But at the end of the day, that is 1-on-3 coverage. That is amazing wherewithal from Aniguez to still find his way to get the ball.
And just like that, they're across midfield at the 35-yard line of Atlanta. And Richardson goes back to throw again, and another quick hitter, 16 yards for Chris Lee, another Lycan first down.
Yeah, and it just takes one pass to get that confidence from Sully. He's now thrown the ball 75 times through the first 2 and a bit games, and that is second most in the league. So he's got that confidence to sling that rock even if it doesn't work for him, and right now it's paid dividends for this Lycans franchise that just needs to shore up defensively.
And he's had to throw the football, Brett, because the run game just really hasn't gotten off the ground. Combined, the Lycans still have yet to reach the century mark in this young season. They'll try and get Jack involved this time, and he picks up a solid gain as he rolls forward for 8 yards, being tackled meanwhile by the quarterback, and we'll introduce you to that Atlanta defense. Joshua Williams and Leo Jefferson are the defensive tackles, with Shad Allen, Qantas Shine, Chris Porter, Billy Ray Valentine, and William Patterson all at outside linebacker. Jay Miraculous, Nathan Barnett, and Bentley Bonner are the corners, with Chris Henry, Jeff Spicoli, Moose Papano, and Grant Hardaway all at safety. And that run up the middle from Brennan Stahl equals an LA Lycan 1st and goal.
Yeah, just talking about that fact that the run game hasn't worked for them so far. Coming into this game, Logan Jack is averaging 3.4 yards per carry. Brandon Brennistal only 1.5 yards. Jalen Wells only 1.3. They need to get more out of their running backs to be successful in this matchup.
A pass here from Sully, looking near side and trying to turn upfield is Jack, and he's ushered out of bounds. No gain on the play. Good tackle from Atlanta.
Yeah, and Shad Allen is going to be one of those talents that's going to key in on guys like Jack, guys like Brandon Stahl, who's going to get those outside swing options, and they're basically going to be on him like a fly, just like their namesake.
I formation, 3 wide here for Sully Richardson. A back to pass. Atlanta sent an extra man pass in the back of the end zone. Caught! Chris Lee, touchdown, Los Angeles Lycans.
Man, what a gunslinging show that we've seen in this first drive from Sully Richardson. He's finding his targets on tight coverage, especially this one to Chris Lee. And there you see the benefits of a good pass game just very quickly. Under 3 minutes gone in this game, and you've got 6 points on the board. LA strikes first on the road.
4th touchdown of the season for Sully Richardson. Chris Lee's first here in season 22. Extra point from Joshua Black is up and good, and the Lycans take a 7-0 lead, and they had a very fun and exciting drive, and it took nearly 3 minutes off the clock.
That's what you want if you're going to be a gunslinging offense, is that you want to get that quickly out, but you have to trust in that defense to tire out the opposing team's offense as well.
Now it'll be Atlanta's turn to respond, as here comes the return man back in his own end zone, and Henry McGee brings it all the way up to the 27-yard line, and that is where Bryant Dynasty, the starting quarterback for Atlanta, will bring his troops onto the battlefield. Chad Moore is the backup quarterback, with BDG Hollywood and Jason Williams, a very strong halfback duo, with Mitchell O'Brien in front of them at fullback. Henry McGee, Kyle Finnemore, Boo Chisholm, and Kay Marion are the wideouts, with Talon Steele, Why Not Arlett at tight end. And on the line, it's a full slate of starting linemen: Astro Smith, Carter Hollywood, Dean Falco, Ethan Kai, and Sam Falco lead Atlanta's offensive attack. Quick hitter over the middle is caught for Atlanta. That'll move the chains, or not move the yardage forward about 3 yards. Kay Marion, the team's leading receiver in receptions, picks up the yardage.
And normally Atlanta starts off with a first down run from BDG, but this time they go with a quick hit option to Kay Marion to kind of shake things up. Maybe responding to the passing attack from Sully Richardson on the opposite side of the field, and they will go again to the air. Dynasty over the middle. There is big old number 10, Kyle Finnemore, or as they call him in Atlanta, Finnescore. He gets them all the way to midfield. Very interesting approach that Atlanta's taking after being scored against. You look at Los Angeles' defense, and you notice that big gaping hole in the rush game that they usually allow 158 yards through the first 2 games allowed per game, but they're going to go pass on the first 2 plays of their first drive. I formation, might they switch it up, but there's 3 wideouts in the formation. They do go to the ground. This time it's Jason Williams, and the first carry for Williams gains 5 for Atlanta. Let's introduce you to that Lycan defense. Ace Blackwell, Brogan Spirog, Gary Marks, Selwyn Lane, and Nick Brummer are the defensive linemen, with Rochelle Colston, Greg Ward, and Tazzy Blackwell at linebacker. Mike Scott, TD Jack, Devontae Moore are the corners, with Ryan Yosef, Monte Wyatt, and Eaton Moss at safety. After that 22-yard pass just 2 plays ago in the 5-yard run, they try again here on a run. BDG only gains 1, and that'll bring up a 3rd and short. Yeah, pass, and now run sets up a 3rd and 4. So maybe Dynasty and company saw themselves, hey, Let's see if those passes work. They worked for them. They went with run, only got 6 yards out of it. Maybe sets them up for a pass here on 3rd down.
Blitz coming. Dynasty rolling and trying to find a way out. And he
Nice.
does, and he spins away forward for more. A great feat of athleticism and ingenuity to get the first down for Atlanta.
Not only speed and ingenuity, but great awareness in the pocket as well. Seeing that it was collapsing, and he had a guy basically shading him right behind in the form of a very tough defender. You got to run it. In a situation where Dynasty has those motors of legs, you got to go for it.
2 tight ends on the near side of the line. Now Dynasty will mix it up a bit and send with his tight ends in motion over to the right. That's Talon Steele, who just came over in the offseason from Jacksonville. And Dynasty over the middle finds Steele. Nice little quick hitter on the tight end go route, and it picks up a Swarm first down.
And Steele's built a little bit of a bigger body compared to last season with Jacksonville, and he might be a little bit more of a blocking tight end in comparison too, but he still has the hands. If he needs to catch a football, he certainly can. His 5th catch so far this season for Atlanta, and is paying off. Those go routes have been real key for tight ends this season.
Back to the line they come again in a 3 wide I formation. They ran out of it earlier in the drive. They will pass out of it here. Looking middle again, near the goal line. It's caught. Henry McGee gets it 1st and goal at the 1.
Man, and there is something that you wanted to see through the first 2 games. Henry McGee making an impact on this drive, finally getting himself a big catch so far this season. His 3rd catch so far in his campaign for season 22 gets them to the 1-yard line.
2 catches, 25 yards, looking for his first SFL career touchdown. That'll have to wait, it looks like. I formation, goal line defense out here. 1st and goal from about the half-yard mark. And Dynasty will throw deep back in the end zone and somehow fitting it in to Why Not Arlette. The tight end grabs Atlanta the touchdown.
So initially, when I saw that pass going up in the air, I thought to myself, oh, Monty Wyatt's got that figured out to a T. He's going to get that interception. But that was arced just right, where only Arlette could catch it above the head. Get the head mark going on Monty Wyatt there. What a throw and what a catch to Arlette.
2 fantastic opening drives, one by either team. Arlette grabs his 3rd career touchdown grab, and now here comes the extra point from Sammy Steele to tie us back up. Snap spot kick is up, and it is good. 7-7. Our score now from the Hive as Atlanta strikes back. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the Join the Community button to begin your career, or just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. Solid return there from Iniguez as LA will start their next drive on the 27th.
Sorry, I have to bring this up. We're only 6 minutes into this contest. Both these quarterbacks are throwing for 112 yards on 9 of 10 completion. They have started off hot in this first quarter.
Sully just has the 1 in completion. Both quarterbacks have passed for 5 times. Dynasty, perfect 5 for 5 on that opening drive. And now, how do the Lycans respond? Do they want to get in an air raid contest with Bryant Dynasty in the Swarm? Split backfield, 3 wide receiver look out of LA. Nickel look out of Atlanta. They send the linebackers. Pass left, and Richardson connects for a gain of 7 to Chris Lee, his 3rd grab of the night.
Tough one-on-one battle with Nathan Barnett, and he manages to get the catch, but gets a nice delivery of a hit from Barnett as well. Says no more yards for you. You can settle with 7.
Heavier looking set now out of LA as Richardson changes the play up at the line. 7 seconds on the play clock. They finally snap, and up the middle goes Logan Jack, and he goes through the middle, up in the air, sat back down, but they give him the first down.
I don't know if you noticed this, Tyler, but the man in motion that was moving on that heavy set was defensive end Ace Blackwell coming in as a blocker. It's a very interesting route that they went to try to get that first down, and it worked off.
Really trying to throw a wrinkle into the game plan as Richardson nearly gets picked off. Moose Papanow gets his hands up there with the deflection.
Yeah, that's a tough throw again. And again, you talk about the confidence that Richardson has to just sling the rock no matter what, especially when there's a defender in front and behind. But if there's enough space to throw it to someone like Chris Lee, he's going to do it.
Coverage backs off 8 to 10 yards. The gap between the outside corners and the wide receivers. And it's picked off. They backed off in coverage, and Sean Allen sneaks through underneath to pick off Richardson's pass.
And Richardson had 2 in routes, both on both sides. The far left also had an in route, and it was just a perfect timing from Sean Allen to get in front of the pass about 4 yards away from Iniguez, the intended target as well. And just like that, Atlanta has their defense humming a little bit, and they are in enemy territory.
Sean Allen with the interception has had a fantastic career here in Atlanta after coming over a season ago. Continues to put up big numbers, and he gets the turnover for the Swarm as they go on the ground here with Jason Williams on the first play of a shortened drive, and it gains 7.
Yeah, and so far through the first 2 games for Atlanta, it's been more so the BDG show behind center. He's had 41 carries to Jay Will's just 12 coming into this game. So I'd like to think there's going to be a little bit more pressure to put in the hands of Jay Will a little bit more.
Pitch play right side for BDG, and Hollywood gains yardage close to the marker, but they will mark him just shy, and it brings up 3rd and 1.
So the foot may have crossed that boundary, but when you're tackling someone to the ground, you're focused on where that ball was the most forward on, which is why we got this 3rd and 1 scenario for Atlanta.
8 men in the box for the Lycans as Dynasty ushers Mitchell O'Brien out of the backfield. The fullback now lined up as a wide receiver, but they run with Williams through the middle, who escapes 1 tackle and is finally taken down by Ryan Yosef. First down, Atlanta.
And it was real good work by Astro Smith and Ethan Kai on that right side. It looked to be maybe shifting left to open up a gap just big enough for Williams to get through on the first down.
5-step drop from Dynasty, looking to the 5-yard line, and it's caught at the 6 by K. Marion. 1st and goal, Atlanta. They were just here minutes ago, and they're right back.
Man, and again, you look at the difference between that one Sully throw that was in between defenders and to this one all the way to Marion. It's just basically pinpoint accuracy. When you have someone like Tazzy Blackwell in front of the football and Ryan Yosef behind, you're kind of scared to throw that. But Brian Dynasty, he ain't no scared man. He's going to sling it to K if he can.
1st and goal, LA sending 9 in the box, and here comes a safety blitz. They dump it off right side for Williams, and Williams is denied at the 2-yard line. Nearly had a touchdown, but great coverage on the outside after your single high safety left the area to bring him down before the score.
Yeah, very impressive work from Williams to have the wherewithal to turn his body before he got out of bounds to get positive yardage as well. If he didn't have that agility, he probably would have been out of bounds 3 yards behind the line.
Up the middle again, BDG. Hollywood is into the end zone. Touchdown, Swarm. They jump back out in front for the first time tonight.
Yeah, and that run game doesn't have to be pretty if your pass game has been so dynamic as we've seen just through this first less than a quarter so far. Brian Dynasty stays perfect, brings it to 7 of 7. So that his run game doesn't really have to do much. Jason Williams got some great looks from his line to get open, and that's what was the difference maker. And we're gonna nearly end this first quarter with Atlanta to lead.
And Atlanta will turn the Shad Allen interception into points on a short 6-play, 38-yard drive, which took just over 2 minutes. So they already have right around 5 minutes total time of possession already tonight, partner.
Yeah, and when it comes to time possession battle, it is so critical to have that early advantage. If you can get it early, that means your team that you're playing against is playing from behind from two aspects.
Here comes Iniguez from his own end zone looking for a good return, and he gets through the first wave, but not through the second one. He's down at the 29-yard line. Now what does LA come out with here after throwing the ball away on the last drive?
And the real approach for Sully here is just not to throw anything silly. He hasn't done any overly silly throws. I think that Shad Allen interception might have been a little bit lucky from Allen's end just because of how far he was in front of Iniguez as we go if we go back to looking at that play. I think he just needs to stay confident, and if he needs to sling that rock, trust on his big options. Look at LZ Pryor. We haven't seen him get a target yet.
We'll start with a run up the middle. It'll be Brent or Jalen Wells, the fullback, gaining 2 yards.
Yeah, maybe a change of pace is needed for LA as well. Maybe to slow things down, get Sully that confidence back after throwing an interception. Not a bad idea going with Jalen Wells for the first down run.
Quick highlight on Shad Allen, the former Scorpion, now in his second season here in Atlanta. And the quick hitter from Richardson, that's his first pass completion since the interception. And he finds the always reliable Chris Lee.
And already, three of his 6 completions have gone to Lee so far. So he's been the favorable target just through this first quarter. And right now, paying off.
LA down by 7 as we hit the first quarter break. Atlanta out in front, but will it hold? You're watching Week 3 of the Simulation Football League. Welcome back to the Hive here in Atlanta, Georgia. Tyler Falk and Brett Solberg on the call. In stats, happy shout out to Luke Schreiner and Bismarck Wright. And of course, Cameron Irvine is in production. Happy to have your company with us here tonight on this Sunday evening. We're back underway for the start of the second quarter, and the handoff to the left-hand side, it goes to Logan Jack, who now owns 11th all-time in rushing yards.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Once you start climbing up that ladder, and once you can start saying, hey, I'm amongst the top 12 in the league all time in rushing yards, that puts a name on your potential shrine.
Iniguez gets a call out of the backfield, gains 1 yard. He passed Ash Odom for 11th all time at 10,716 yards in a career.
We've seen this quite a bit from LA. They like to kind of shake things up in that run game and get Iniguez involved as well. He's got the speed for it.
Richardson looking right side. Chris Lee, hello, how do you do? Number 5 tonight, and another Lycans first down.
Yeah, could this be an instance where Chris Lee is going to have as many receptions in one half as he had in 2 games so far in his campaign? He's at 5 now. He got 7 coming into this game. He has been Sully's favorite target through this first quarter and a bit.
Coming into the game, we were talking on pre-production how good that LA has been done to spread the football around, but tonight Richardson only has highs for Chris Lee, and now he decides to go to LZ Pryor, and that's a good gain of 11 and a first down as Chris Henry. Oh no, the strong safety is down for Atlanta.
Yeah, next man up for Atlanta. That's the mentality. Jess Piccoli hasn't had too many looks so far defensively, but now he's going to have a little bit of extra time as Chris Henry hopefully maybe takes a few plays off on the sidelines before he comes back.
Piccoli's 4 seasons, Chris Henry's junior, and that loss of a very mobile and prominent presence of Chris Henry. How will that affect the Atlanta defense? 1st and 10 now from the 29-yard line. Play action. Sully, middle, it's tipped away. Moose Papineau, his second deflection of the night.
Yeah, and maybe that was the wrong target from Sully. You saw LZ Pryor wide open a little bit further to the right on that in route. That might have been the right target, but instead going with Lee again, and this time just well covered.
Offset eye behind Richardson. 4-3 look here out of Atlanta here on second down. Roll out near side. Sully. Got Chris Lee near the 10-yard line. The Chris Lee show is on full display, and it's 1st and 10, LA.
Yeah, and Atlanta had the right idea. They had Chris Porter shading to the outside, but they had a great offensive line as well as a good push from Logan Jack to give Sully more time so that he could find his connecting target, his favorite so far in Chris Lee, and again, moving the chains, almost getting to a goal line scenario.
19 yards on the pass from Richardson to Lee. That sets him up inside the 11-yard line. He'll run and fumbling the ball. Who jumps on it? It's one of the Lycans linemen. Oh my goodness, a huge sigh of relief for Brandon Brennenstall.
Whew, take a breath, just relax. It's quite all right. When you get hit like that, whew, I see someone like Aquinas Shine coming at me, I'd be fumbling the ball as well, and I've been in the league for 14 seasons. I can't fault Brennenstall for, having a little bit of butterfingers on that.
The tackle, Bob Wetoska. The undrafted rookie picks up the loose ball, and Richardson continues the drive. He hits LZ Pryor underneath for a short pickup, but that's going to make third down all that more difficult. 3rd and 13.
Yeah, just a little bit of a check down. Didn't see any options deep, so they had to go with the short option. I like it because it just gives Sully a little bit more confidence, because that's, at the end of the day, that's still a completion.
Four wide here for LA on 3rd and long. 6-man rush, and it's a quick hitter right side inside the 10-yard line for Chris Lee, who's taken down by Jay Miraculous. And LA, I think, played a pretty good way. They played it smart. They'll be able to maybe try for a field goal here.
Yeah, and I don't mind a little bit of conservatism, especially in it looks like a high-powered game at this point. So no faults from LA from going conservative on that on 3rd down.
Field goal is up and good from Joshua Black. Now 6-6 here in season 22, and they chop into that Atlanta lead. It's now 14-10, the Swarm. Liking the game so far? Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. Here comes Atlanta back on the return, trying to stretch it to the left side is Henry McGee, who rolls forward up to the 30-yard line. And so now Atlanta get to try and continue their string of success, partner. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. What do they do here on drive number 3?
I mean, why not just continue going with the hot hand? Bryant Dynasty is perfect so far through the first 2 drives. See how far that gets you. I mean, the run game hasn't been too involved. They got a little bit more run happy once they got the interception from Sean Allen earlier and got Jason Williams more involved. But I'd say ride that hot hand of Dynasty, see how far that takes you.
Dynasty is going to go into the gun here on 1st and 10. It'll be a run for Mitchell O'Brien, the fullback, who gets tag-teamed by a couple of defenders. Only gains 4.
I don't mind that start for 1st down, especially. When you look at that play set, you think, okay, Dynasty's definitely going to throw it, but with that split backs right beside him, it's nice to hand it off for the 4 yards.
Another split back look, this time Dynasty under center. We'll run again, up the middle. BDG gets the 1st down yardage and maybe an extra yard.
Yeah, that's that speed threat that Hollywood is known for. He can breeze by defenders in a jiffy if he needs to. And more importantly, it's going to open up that game now that the run game has started to spice things up for Atlanta's offense.
This is a pass on the 3rd play of the drive and snagging it. This came is K. Marion for another first down.
Man, you gotta love tall targets, especially if you're someone like Bryant Dynasty. If you can have someone like K. Marion, 6'6", 222, can outstretch her arms, probably has a 6'10" wingspan. Just amazing to have the arsenal at your disposal for Bryant Dynasty.
And Devontae Moore was draped all over her like a cape, but she still manages to reach out a paw and haul that one in as Atlanta move across the 50. Heavy blitz coming and trying to sneak his way through is BDG, gaining 2 yards, but Gary Marks was all over him from the get-go.
Complete sea of white on the line from LA to stop anything that's going on. They were ready for if it was going to be a pass or a run. They were going to get to Dynasty or the running back.
Another heavy look, and they run again up the middle. Couple of missed tackles as Jason Williams eventually is brought down by Yosef, gaining a good chunk, maybe 9 yards.
Yeah, and then again, I don't think Atlanta minds this because now their run game is starting to open up. They know that it's a weakness so far through LA's first 2 games. Let's start to get that going a little bit. You don't really have to rely all that much on Dynasty staying perfect. Now it's a 3rd and 1.
Straight run plays. Do they go to the ground here in a short yardage situation? They do, and they will pick it up with Williams through the middle as O'Brien disguises himself as Williams and picks up the first down.
Yes, you don't normally see, at least in Atlanta setup, a fullback running back duo on split back. So O'Brien disguised himself as Jason Williams and got to the first down.
He has a level 100 sneak ability as Dynasty looking deep. It's caught inside of 15 and brought down near the 10. Henry McGee doubles his reception total on the season in just tonight's game.
2 huge catches from Henry McGee to get Atlanta into the goal line scenario, which any team wants to get at. Because anytime you can get to a goal line scenario, you're basically guaranteed points. And Henry McGee outstretching his body, getting himself more involved than he has through the first 2 games. It's great to see the rookie in action.
And with that last pass, Bryant Dynasty becomes the 20th quarterback all-time to surpass the 25,000 passing yard mark as Williams caps off the drive with a rushing touchdown.
Man, oh man, does Atlanta look hot offensively or what? They just continue going down the field. Doesn't matter what position they're in, they find ways to score. In this drive, it has been all run-centric with a couple pepper sprays of passing action. Great work to change the pace from the Atlanta Swarm to get themselves a double-digit lead.
They don't call it Hotlanta for nothing. The extra point is up and good from Sammy Steele. It's a 21-10 lead now for the Swarm, and things on offense for Atlanta, partner, have just been going swimmingly. 3 for 3, 3 drives, 3 scores.
Man, it just seems like they're unstoppable offensively. Can LA respond, especially in the second half?
Taking a knee is Bubba Tree in his own end zone. That gives us a chance to head over to our nation's capital to check on the Dragons and what they're doing over there. Over to Cameron Irvine.
Thank you, Tyler. You're never going to believe this. Look at DC right at the end of the first half, just kind of strolling up to the line. No big deal. Carolina's thinking they're going into the half. Synergy immediately snaps it with 1 second left, fires to Lyric Da Vinci. The safety jumped and they let him go. DC takes a 17-7 lead into the break. Back to you in Atlanta.
Now that's a way to end a half. Thank you, Cam, as the Dragons trying to maintain their momentum with the Canton Classics as Pryor is unable to haul that one in.
You know, I talked about in the Streets Are Talking this past Tuesday who I thought DC and Canton are basically the clear-cut 1 and 2 of this league through the first couple weeks, and they're proving it so far. Now for LA, they just need to prove that they can match tit for tat with Atlanta, and it starts with this drive using the last 3.5 minutes.
And is really trying to stack the box with 8 men in it. Against a 2-back, 1 tight end look out of the Lycans. Rolling is Richardson. Firing is Richardson. Caught by Pryor. First down.
And now that balance of pass attack is coming. We saw a lot of Chris Lee through the first quarter. Now Pryor getting involved in the second quarter is huge because, again, it changes the approach that the opposing defense has to think of when going through their next set of plays. Who's the rock going to next? That's the big mentality that they're changing in the minds.
Both offenses having their way with these opposing defenses through the air as Richardson is hit as he releases, looking for Pryor most likely. But that offensive line caved under the defensive pressure.
And it was just caving as he was looking to set the ball as well. There was still good protection from the offensive line, and there was still that confidence that Sully was going to sling that rock to his target. It just fell a little bit too soon in his eyes.
3 straight passes, all 3 looking for Pryor. What do they do here on the 4th play of the drive? Atlanta's defense trying to overload that far side of the field. And Richardson finds an open Chris Lee. First down, Lycans. We're going to call that man's name early and often all night tonight.
Man, not only was that a great catch from Chris Lee, but look at this fastball thrown by Richardson. That is Aroldis Chapman-esque, how fast that football was going. It was just a speeding bullet, and it was only going to one man, and that's him right there, Chris Lee.
Slinging it already over 100 yards to Chris Lee in just this first half. And Richardson rolls again, and he looks for Lee again. 35-yard line, 13-yard first down reception.
It's so crazy. When we were going into this game, Chris Lee only had 18% of Sully's completions. Now he's got 9 receptions in this game, more than he's had through the first 2 games. He's definitely making an impact on this LA offense in the first half.
Closing in on the 2-minute warning. Now from the 34-yard line. Offset eye, weak eye look out of LA, and they will run the ball for the first time on the drive. And Wells breaks out a 1 tackle, and Jalen picks up 5.
And you see how just one run play after a modicum of pass plays can change the outlook of just that simple run play. That could have been 2 yards and turned into 5.
We get the 2-minute warning here from the Hive in first half. Can the Lycans get back on the board? 21-10. Atlanta has the lead. They changed the tempo on the play right before the 2-minute warning. Now what do they do here? Coming out of the break. I formation, 1 lone receiver. That's Tommy Rahman, the tight end, looking like a wide receiver. And they go with Logan Jack near side. He runs through Moose Papanow, and he gets close to the sticks, but he is ruled just shy.
2 good runs from the running backs leading to a 3rd and short scenario. You'd have to think to yourself, they're maybe going to go for a 3rd straight run, especially in the same formation. Same guy, Tommy Rahman on the outside.
They go up the middle. This time it's Brennan Stahl. And he will pick up the first down, and more importantly, compared to his last run, he holds on to the football for the first down.
Yeah, and look what LA's doing here. They're shedding the clock so that Atlanta has no chance to respond in the rest of the second quarter. Now down to 1:20 inside the 20-yard line.
That is key for strategy, as the Swarm will get the ball to start the second half. As they go up the middle with Jack, gaining about 5 yards, it does appear that LA have taken their first time out.
Yeah, and right now I think it's smart for LA because now they're inside that 20. They want to get themselves maximum time to get to the end zone despite shedding all that clock. But like we said earlier, you don't want a quick 2-for-1 situation for Atlanta because they're getting the ball back in the third quarter.
Control the game, run your offense is the mantra at the moment for the Lycans. Pryor is man in motion near side. 3 seconds to go on the play clock, and rolling near side.
Watch out.
Richardson is caught by Pryor inside the 5-yard line. First and goal, LA.
That is crazy. You had Chris Porter breathing down the neck of Sully Richardson. He still slings that baby, finds LZ Pryor on the waistline, gets a catch, and now it's first and goal.
4th pass completion of the drive for Richardson. He's 4 of 6, and all 4 completions have been for 10 or more yards.
Oh.
Richardson rolls right
Watch
side
out.
this time. Looking
Wide
open.
open.
Chris Lee is rewarded for all his hard work tonight, and he gets a score.
Talk about rewarding a guy who's got 10 receptions now for your offense, getting his 2nd touchdown of the game, and LA is matching tit for tat with Atlanta's offense. Fantastic time management work by the LA offense to get themselves a touchdown with a minute left in the 2nd quarter. Breathes life into LA's offense and says, hey, we're not going to shy away just yet, Atlanta.
30th career touchdown reception for Chris Lee. As Ashton Black tacks home the extra point, and it brings it back to a 4-point ball game with 1:02 to go here in the first half.
Yeah, and I got to give big ups to Atlanta in terms of their time management. 2 straight multiple double-digit drives that they've had. 12 plays in the last one and the field goal, and this one was 11.
Opening kickoff will be taken back for a knee by Henry McGee, and so Atlanta will start this 1 minute, 1 second drill on their own 20-yard line. They do get the ball to start the second half, partner, so as we see them come up to the line here, they look into more of a heavy set, and always dangerous is BDG in that backfield, and we could see him go for a long one. They'll pitch it to BDG, left side, out of one, and blasted away by Monte Wyatt.
Yeah, and that's what they brought Monty Wyatt in for. He's had earth-shattering tackles before with Carolina, and now he comes in as another spearheading safety option for LA, and that's the example you see there. 2-yard loss on an earth-shattering hit.
Under 40 seconds now here in the half. Finnemore goes in motion. Only one DB out there on that far side guarding the wide receivers. Quick hitter over the middle, and it's picked off! The Lycans force a turnover! And they're in prime position to score again! Tazzy Blackwell, the middle linebacker.
Did anyone have this in their bingo cards here tonight, where LA has a chance to take the lead after being down by double digits to end the half? They still got themselves 24 seconds. We've seen the mastery of their offense so far. Tazzy Blackwell gives LA an opportunity to have the lead come to halftime.
Where's Mark Lopez when you need him? I need my bingo card back.
Whew.
1st and 10 now for LA on Atlanta's 21, looking to put up more points before the half. Rolling is Richardson. He's going to just dump it off. Near side Pryor. Can't get out of bounds. Taken back near the 20-yard line. LA will call their final timeout of the half. Forward progress will mark Pryor at the 17.
I mean, safe to say, a little bit of an interesting throw from Sully, throwing basically to his opposite side and hoping that Pryor will get the catch. But man, Sully has been in action in this first half.
Near 200 yards already tonight. Just under 20 seconds to go in the half. The Lycans have no timeouts remaining. Blitz coming. Richardson lets go of it and overshoots everybody. Incomplete pass. 3rd and 6 with 15 ticks to go in the half.
Yeah, in a scenario where your guys are tightly marked, it's better off overthrowing everyone and at least having a chance. But right now, LA's got one shot at this. to either get a first down or basically they're going to concede and take the field goal here. I don't think they have the confidence in getting 2 plays off.
Without any timeouts, here comes Joshua Black. The kick is up, and they get a field goal out of the fortuitous interception. And with seconds to go in the half, it's 21-20, a nail-biter in the Hive.
Yeah, and I think that's just simply because I don't think they wanted to get 2 plays off, and they just wanted to settle for the points, and they know that Atlanta can't get anything with 11 seconds left in their mind. But still, anything is possible in the SFL.
Black's kickoff is on its way, and taking it out is Finnemore looking for a lane. He will get only up to the 28-yard line, and so now here comes Atlanta back out into the field. 7 seconds, 3 timeouts in the half. Up by 1, Brett. You be aggressive like you were on the last drive?
It's tough to say, especially when you threw a ball to Tazi Blackwell. But with 7 seconds left, there's not much to do. So I would just say run this baby out, get to the halftime marker, see what you can fix defensively. Both these teams have struggled defensively despite it being an offensive, despite it being a gunslinging showcase.
Dynasty will look to throw. This time he connects with BDG, who has plenty of room to run the far sideline. He gets out of bounds near the 43-yard line. And with 1 second to go, Atlanta might have a shot here at the end zone.
Yeah, and this ain't ridiculous of an idea to go into Hail Gary. It's about 60 yards for Dynasty to throw. He's had the arm before. He's just got to trust on someone with some speed. And I know one guy that can do it. His name is Henry McGee.
One second to go in the half. They come out in an identical formation to the last play. 3 tight ends, I formation. They will just run it. Here's Williams. Left side, stopped at the 50-yard line. And just like the field position in which we end the first half, it's a back and forth, even Steven nearly ball game. A 1-point game separating Atlanta and Los Angeles. Brett, this game has gotten interesting, or I should say, been kept interesting throughout the first 20 minutes.
You know, for some other games that we've seen in the SFL through this first 2.5 weeks, we would just say, whew, I need myself a cigarette. But we're at halftime here, ladies and gentlemen, and both these offenses have been clicking and then some. LA, 227 yards of total offense, completely led by their pass game. Sully Richardson throwing the rock to his favorite target so far in this game, Chris Lee, who has paid off in dividends. 2 touchdowns for him, whereas Atlanta, a little bit more of a balanced approach, especially now that they got Jason Williams going. They've got about 70 yards of rushing and 130 yards of passing. They got themselves 200 yards as well. The big key here coming to the second half, who's going to dial it down defensively? Both these teams are struggling defensively and allowing these offenses to do whatever they want. Now it's up to defenses to step down and anchor up.
And rightfully so, the halftime player of the game is Chris Lee. As we welcome you back to the Hive here in Atlanta, Georgia, Tyler Falk, Brett Solberg here in the booth, Luke Schreiner and Bismarck Wright, the Stats Truck, and Kevin Irvine producing. We welcome you back for the second half here in Atlanta. The opening kickoff of the half is taken down for a knee by E. That is where the Atlanta will start their first possession of the half on their own 20 as we take a look at the explosiveness of both these teams through the air.
Yeah, and right now the 2 stats show it right near the bottom there. Average yards per play. If you can get your offense to 6 yards or more per play, that's going to prove to pay off. And you see it right there with the 21-20 score just after one half.
Atlanta shuffling things around behind the line as they run with Williams. A nice little move on Tazi Blackwell as Williams picks up 4.
Yeah, and right now, Atlanta wants to get that balance game going again. They had the run game going pretty well in the second quarter. They want to carry momentum into this third quarter the same way.
Fullbacks, two tight ends here for Atlanta on second down. We'll go on the ground game again. BDG through one, nearly through two, as Yosef lowers the shoulder to BDG after a short pickup.
Yeah, and the LA defense has to think to themselves, stop this no matter what on third down. Get really the first legitimate stop of either defense in this game.
I formation now for Atlanta. Third and short, blitz coming. Williams untouched on the outside. He rolls and nearly got out of the tackle. Had it not been for Rochelle Colston, he would have been going for much longer.
Man, yeah, there's that agility from Thrilliams that we've seen in days past coming in. We know that he has the potential to break out for runs as well. We've seen it back in his Sioux Falls days. Now he brings it to Atlanta to be that sneaky option.
One-handed snag. Kyle Finnemore calling it. That's our nice hands catch of the game, brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it, SFL 4K 23.
If Finnemore was any shorter than 6'3", he'd be catching that ball. Not a chance.
And a fullback dive, and it's a good one. Gains about 5, and it's Hollywood who is the fullback getting the carry.
Yeah, and again, shaking things up in terms of just even the running back formations. We've got BDG playing fullback. We've got Mitchell O'Brien playing running back in the split formation. It's, again, misdirecting that defense that we've been talking about earlier.
3 wide here on first down for Dynasty and company, as it'll be a pitch for Williams. Got a couple of good blocks from the wideouts, McGee and Finnemore, and only able to pick up 3 as the defense collapsed quickly.
Yeah, and again, we look at this drive, and they're starting off by being very run-centric. Do they have that LA team guessing on what they're going to do next? Because we've seen a lot of successful throws from Dynasty, but that run game is starting to pick up as well. 5
of the 6 plays so far have been runs on this drive, as they go again for the 6th run, and denied near the line of scrimmage. Rochelle Colston leads the charge.
Yeah, and that is one of the stops that LA needs to say, hey, we want you to throw the football this time. And at 3rd and 6, it's still an open playbook, but I wouldn't be too surprised if Dynasty drops back.
From the midfield logo on 3rd down, Dynasty rolling and rolling, has time, still has time, and lets it go, and it's incomplete. Looking for K. Marion. Was she interfered with? The refs say yes.
Man, that's a tough one as well. We'll have to see the replay because we didn't see it fully. Are we going to get it? Yes, we are. Take a look at what just impeding. That's a tough call. I don't know if I would make it if I'm a referee there, but I think Atlanta got away with one if I'm being personally honest.
Mike Scott, who has 21 career interceptions, was in the prime location to take the ball away. Instead, he chooses to play the receiver and just for a fraction of a second overplays K. Marion. 1st down, Atlanta at the 23-yard line. Offset eye behind Dynasty. He will be back to pass, looking into double coverage and looking for Marion. There's no flag this time, just yellow pants and white jerseys to make that pass maybe ill-afforded.
Yeah, easily. The most divisive call in the world of sports is defensive pass interference. So you could go either way with that one. But LA's defense has to tanker up once again, just go on to the next play, get a stop here, and force Atlanta into a field goal.
Quick hitter, mitter. There is Finnemore again. 6 yards. This time he goes with the two-handed variety.
And right now, the quick hitters have been working, especially on this drive. We've seen it from Finnemore twice, and it seems like almost the same route. This time it was a little bit quicker off, but look at the scenario, 3rd and 4. Again, opening up the playbook for 3rd down.
12th play of the drive. They've already converted on 2 third downs on this drive alone. They're 6 of 7 all time tonight. Dynasty, corner of the end zone, one-handed snag! Are you kidding me, Talent Steele?
And that's dangerously close to the sidelines, but he's got his big body to stay within the marker, and exactly what the doctor ordered. Atlanta says, you know what? You may be able to come back in this game, LA, but we still got the firepower. Look how wide open Talon Steele was. It took Ryan Joseph until halfway past the catch, but look at where the feet are. Are we going to see a challenge flag being thrown here?
No flag. 1 foot in, touchdown Swarm.
Wow.
27-20. Now make that 28-20 on a ridiculous grab from Steele. That's not my nice hands catching the game, partner. I'm taking mine back from his teammate Finnemore. I'm giving it to Steele.
Man, and I think the LA, at least LA fans, have a case on this one. So far for the first 2 weeks, we've seen the 2 feet be the rule. This time it's 1, but no challenge flag means you're going to settle for 7 points against you.
28-20 the score now. LA in a 1-score hole only still. There's still time for the Lycans to come back in this game. And it looks like they're going to try and hustle this one down the field. If they start the drive with 4 receivers, instead they go with Jack, who gains maybe 2 yards. Taken down by Sean Allen, who had the pick in the first half.
Yeah, and that defense has to be riding high because Atlanta very, very much took it to them on a balanced drive. Really good work. But again, we've seen this tale before in this game. LA has the chops to bring it back and definitely make it a contest on this drive if they want to.
Pitch play near side, and it's blown up in the backfield. Brilliant reading of the play from BRV.
Yeah, and Billy Ray Valentine, that's what you pay your money's worth out of your defensive line, to make big stops like that, force third down into a forced passing scenario. But right now, I've got my guns on Sully.
Deep drop pass deflected away. Moose Papanow. His hand up there, third deflection of the game. And it brings up 4th down.
And there you see it, the first real stop by either of these defenses in this game goes to Atlanta. Does the swinging pendulum of momentum go fully to Atlanta's side now? We will only figure it out after this ensuing drive.
Sean Landeta will punt this one away. And a fair catch called for by McGee at his own 41-yard line. Have you ever wanted to be a play-by-play or analyst broadcaster? We are looking for passionate SFL participants or viewers like you to join the team for the next minor league season kicking off in just a few months. Please visit simulationfl.net/broadcasting for more details on how you can get involved and get your voice on the call. And off right side, BDG Hollywood through Tazzy Blackwell, and he's spun free down the sideline.
Oh my goodness!
BDG Hollywood, touchdown Swarm!
And this is what we feared from LA's defense. We see the big number between the first 2 games on their run defense allowed on this one, and BDG finally breaks open. Look at the block. First off, it looked to be Why Not Arlette with the initial block that gave BDG a chance to stretch to the right, and just when he got back, it just kept on going. And as they like to say, the king is back on his throne, and Atlanta has that double-digit lead once more.
Who says you can't break off big runs? 59 yards from BDG Hollywood, and it's a 2-score lead now for Atlanta, 35-20.
This is one of the reasons why BDG is the greatest running back of all time in this league, not just because of numbers alone, but for momentum swinging plays like this, Atlanta fully has the momentum on their side.
Kickoff will be taken down for a knee by Niguez, and we head back to DC. Cam's got another game break from DC Carolina. Cam.
Thank you, Tyler. Carolina's had 2 costly red zone turnovers tonight, but on this one, Shabazz Synergy picked off by Ibari Aman Iglin, and look at the return, look at the blocking, the pick 6. Carolina pushing the undefeated Dragons in DC, 17-14 Dragons in the 4th. Back to you.
Carolina trying to make a game of it, and they draw close. Thank you, Cam. 1st and 10 now for the Lycans as the pitch play goes near side. And Jack, well, that's been his struggle this season, trying to find a hole in these pitch plays. And again, met by defenders. This time it's Chris Henry.
Very simply put for LA, they cannot let this offensive momentum that they've carried in this first half go. They need to find a way to move those chains, especially on this drive when Atlanta has stayed hot.
And Richardson will take off. He's got room. He's got plenty of room and gets 15 plus on the QB scramble.
Hey, if your receivers aren't going to get open, why not do all the work yourself? Sully is, again, one of those guys, just like Bryant Dynasty, who has the speed, who has the ability to break out of the pocket and do what's necessary to get the first down. Sometimes all it takes is your quarterback to get a first down, to get things back going. Hopefully for LA, this means it'll keep going back to their offensive ways.
Wideouts near side, 2 backs in the backfield, and a blitz coming from Atlanta. Richardson finds Iniguez at the 50-yard line. First down again for LA.
Another first down and another 15 yards, this time going through the air. And Iniguez is definitely one of those guys who can speed down the field and past defenders if he needs to, especially past Jay Miraculous. That's one tough cookie to beat, and he had him beat for a little bit there. Great work from Richardson to find his open target, get another 15-yard gain and another first down.
Miraculous, who already has 1 interception this season, was all turned around, and Iniguez and Richardson take advantage. Now from midfield come the Lycans inside the 4-minute mark here in the 3rd quarter as Jack, a much better game this time around through the middle as Henry breaks.
Yeah, it's definitely something that they'll take. Anything past 5 yards from Logan Jack on a first down run, they'll gladly take, because again, you want to have a second down scenario where you're close to the chains. In 2nd and 3, I'd say that's pretty close.
Try and run again up the middle. This one again works out well for LA. Brennan Stahl, the ball carrier this time around. It's another Lycan first down.
And sometimes you just have to follow what your opponent did. Get the run game going, then hit him with your airstrike. And that's what we're seeing out of this drive so far from LA. The run game's starting to work, and the pass game still stays hot.
It's coming again. Richardson over the middle, and Lee this time can't haul it in as Chris Henry was there in coverage.
Yeah, not a lot of targets so far from Lee in this 3rd quarter, but LA's still trying to spread that ball around. LZ Pryor's got 8 targets next to Chris Lee's 14. Iniguez now has his 2nd catch of this game. He's been, you know, a little bit more effective in certain aspects of the game as well. So they're trying to spread that rock around.
That last Atlanta touchdown run from BDG, longest in the SFL this season, is that pass. Looking for Lee again, doinks off the helmet of Grant Hardaway.
Yeah, and that one was just an underthrow from Richardson. You got to throw it ahead of the hands of your receiver so that he can get to it. It was just underthrown, simply put.
Big 3rd down now coming up for the Lycans to maintain the momentum on this drive. They are 3 of 7 all tonight and haven't had a 3rd down conversion since the 1st quarter. Back to passes Richardson. Now unloading over the middle, looking for Pryor, nothing doing. Double coverage, and that is going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, simply put, that was double covered, and that was tight coverage as well from the 2 defenders. So that's a tough rock to sling. But again, You see that confidence from Sully Richardson. He's going to keep slinging that rock. Almost at 30 attempts, and we're not even done the third quarter yet for Richardson.
Austral Black's long the last 2 seasons was from 48 yards, so this one's outside his range. So Landida will punt this one away and do a very actually nice job of coffin cornering to the best of his ability. And that will set Atlanta back up at their own 15-yard line.
Yeah, the biggest point for them was try to get as close to inside the 20-yard line as they could. And 15, pretty darn good. So Atlanta now has 85 yards to get down the field. But I'd be focused on getting a stop as quickly as you can to stop the bleeding from Atlanta.
There goes Mitchell O'Brien, the fullback lined up as a wide receiver, who's now going to play on the near side of the formation. Trips in that direction now for Dynasty, and a good run there. Still going is Jason Williams, who almost had that play blown up in front of him behind the line, and that's why they call him Thrillians.
Yeah, and sometimes it just takes a couple shed tackles to turn -3 yards into, boom, 6 yards right there.
Williams' total numbers tonight nearly equal the touchdown run from the last drive from BDG. And here is BDG, and this time he stood up. After maybe a gain of 1, Monty Wyatt is there to bring him down.
And right now, simply put, Atlanta has remained perfect on third down situations. 7 of 7. That has been LA's crutch in this game so far. They can't stop Atlanta on third down. It starts here if they want to get back into this game.
And off middle, BDG, yes sir. Atlanta moved the ball 5 yards, picking up the first down and moving the sticks.
Yeah, that's just sheer will and determination from BDG Hollywood just to push forward when there is no line to give. You thought he was going to get stopped just behind the first down marker. He pushes his way forward past it.
Pitch play right side. Williams gets out of 1 tackle and then is tossed like a rag doll at the line of scrimmage. Heavy hit from TD Jack.
Yeah, you got to love those hits from the LA secondary. They're basically saying, hey, we got to get back in this game. It starts on us. Those are the hits that you want to get to shift the momentum back on your side.
They run again. BDG. Tazzy Blackwell can't tackle him and has a little help from the DBs, and it's only a short gain from BDG. But something that Atlanta's done well tonight and continues to do well is convert on third down.
Yeah, I spoke about it before. Now 8 of 8. Can they do it one more time? It's a little bit favorable for LA now. It's 3rd and 7.
Dynasty. Middle. Overshoots his intended target, Henry McGee, who's had a fantastic night all himself. But LA get the stop they desperately need.
And Dynasty has to think back to himself on that play and say, maybe I overthrew my guy. Because if you saw it, just that split second of screen time that we saw it, McGee had 2 guys beat. That could have gone for 6.
And the punt is away from Todd Sauerburn. Here comes the return from Bubba Tree as he gets up to the 37-yard line with 34 seconds to go in the third quarter. Down by 15. LA needs to start thinking about getting points in a hurry.
Yeah, and right now it starts here. You are down 2 full scores with a 2-point conversion involved as well. So the momentum has to be set on this drive if you want to get back in this game. And it starts by getting some points on the board.
5-step drop, pressure coming, and it's our first sack of the ball game. Aquana Shine comes out of nowhere and takes down Sully Richardson.
Yeah, take this as career stats here. He's now surpassed 1,700 tackles as a defender. That is sack number 7 for him. He's only had 7 in his career. He has been a TFL machine. Make that 162 for him for tackles for loss, but the tackles keep on rising for the number 2 tackler of all time.
And he also surpassed tonight 17,000, which is also the second only person to do so. Congratulations to Shine, 3rd and 13, meanwhile.
Yeah, and basically LA forcing themselves into a hand where, again, they are throwing deep rocks on 3rd down and deep because they just can't get any run game going. This time they got stopped behind because of a sack, but now the Hive is starting to get loud and proud on 3rd and 13.
1,700 tackles plus now for Shine as Richardson middle, and it hits off the hands of Chris Henry, looking for Pryor with 1 second to go. It's 4th and 13, and LA needs to get back on defense, it would seem.
Man, it's looking crazy right now. Sully looked so accurate through the first couple quarters. Now in this 3rd quarter alone, 1 of 7 on his completions. It's crazy.
Maybe the 4th quarter will be better for the Lycan passer. Fair catch called for at the 30-yard line by McGee. That will take us to the quarter break. Your 4 is up in the stands and in chat. You're watching Week 3 of the SFL. Lycans Swarm. Right back.
The Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Welcome back to the Hive here in Atlanta. We want to remind you that 8 p.m. music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. 8 p.m. Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit 8pmmusic.com. As we welcome you back to the Hive, I'm Tyler Falk. He's Brett Solberg. BDG Hollywood gains 5 yards.
Man, and again, BDG just starting to cook a little bit here. It doesn't have to have these big runs like you saw him already run for 59. But sometimes those 5-yard runs can crush opposing defenses.
Atlanta hold a 15-point lead. Can they maintain it with runs like that from Jason Williams? They might ought to.
Yeah, and right now, I'd have to give props to Atlanta's run game for perfectly balancing out the ball time between Williams and BDG. I stressed earlier that it felt like a 3-to-1 carry ratio between BDG and Jason Williams. Right now, BDG's got 14 carries. Jay Will's got 12. They're doing great work.
BDG will look to pass. Middle, good deflection from the Atlanta secondary. Rochelle Colston sneaking over from the linebacker spot.
Yeah, and it looked like a clear-cut catch from Marion because right in front of the defender, had her outstretched arms, but here comes Rochelle Colston flying in a little bit ahead, get the hand deflection, and those are going to be important moving forward for the LA defense.
Blitz coming. Dynasty has to roll out of it, and he fires and finds Talon Steele near the 36-yard line. He has made a couple of spectacular catches tonight.
Yeah, and I can't blame Bryant Dynasty going for his tall options. First going with the 6'6" K Marion, now going to the 6'7", 263 big boy, known as Talon Steele once again, continues to be effective in the offense. 3rd catch of the game so far for Talon, and that might be an important one moving forward for Atlanta's drive.
There's very little the 6'3" Monte Wyatt can really do anything about that. As Dynasty's forced to roll again, hit as he throws, incomplete. Oh my goodness, Brummer leading the way through the interior of that line and really unsettling Bryant Dynasty.
And that's the first time we've seen LA's defensive line really apply pressure to Bryant Dynasty. Aside from that, that pocket's been relatively clean. So maybe a little bit of a crack in the armor of the offensive line.
Dynasty will look to throw, and he's got a man left side. Caught. First down and more inside the 20-yard line. There comes Atlanta back into the end zone.
Sometimes when you need a trusty option and you've got someone like Kay Marion wide open on the sidelines, you just say, yeah, I'll throw it to her, no problem. That'll get me the first down, and more importantly, that's going to get us in red zone territory. 1st and 10 at the 19.
This solid drive continues. No third downs yet on the drive, and this is play number 7. Pitch play left side, BDG, and he runs right into 3 defenders. Blackwell, Moore, and another, all combining in on the stop.
Yeah, Wyatt was there as well to kind of help BDG stay put and get no more than, honestly, probably half a yard on that play, but they're going to be a little bit more favorable. Give them 1 yard on that.
Here comes the run, near side Williams. Gains a couple more as Yosef tackles him, setting up a 3rd and 8.
And right now, it's looking all favorable for Atlanta because they just keep moving that offense forward. And 3rd down has been their biggest gain so far. 8 of 10, 8 of 9, I should say. This is attempt number 10. They've worked really well on these 3rd down situations.
Dynasty back to pass again, and he has to get rid of it, and he finds Henry McGee! Touchdown, Atlanta! Henry McGee picks up his first career SFL score, and it's a 3-score lead for the Swarm.
And there is your official introduction to the league. Welcome to the SFL Major Leagues, Mr. Henry McGee, the most touted, talked about prospect in the league coming in because of his blazing speed, comes in game 3, possibly puts a sealer mark on Atlanta's game to make it a 41, potentially 42-20 game for the Swarm.
Here's a whole bunch of threes from you. Pick number 3 in the draft, picks up touchdown number 1, and puts a 3-score lead for his new SFLM club against the LA Lycans, 42-20, and Atlanta is really stretching their legs now.
Add another 3 to that marker. That was his 3rd catch of the game.
A triple, as one would say. Tomorrow night, Cameron Irvine and Mike O'Neill are back with This Week in the SFL before the Fort Worth Toros battle the Florida Storm to put a bow on, here's another 3, week 3 of the SFL's 22nd season. Kickoff is at 8:15 p.m. Eastern with This Week in the SFL starting an hour early at 7:15 p.m. Eastern, right here on SFL YouTube. Down by 22, 7:18 to go here on the game clock. LA needs to get a move on. 6-man rush from Atlanta. Richardson has to try and fit it in. Nearly finds Pryor. Almost a butt interception as well, and it's 2nd down.
Yeah, and right now Atlanta just needs to focus in. They're clearly losing the grip on this game. Atlanta continues to roll past their defense through both the run and the pass, and LA needs to desperately respond. There's 7 minutes left in this game. You're down 3 scores.
They will continue to go out of this split backfield set. Only 2 wideouts. Roll out near side for Sully. He's going to look underneath. It's bobbled up in the air and incomplete. He was looking for Iniguez. It just seems the last 2 plays has been dangerous throws and nearly interceptions after tips.
Well, that possibly might have been Tommy Rahman, the intended target. I saw 4-9, but 1-9 and 4-9 look the same when you're this far away from the booth. But nonetheless, that's a little bit of a conservative play. I would like to see something deep from Sully and Co.
And this 4-wide set here for the Lycans might just provide. Iguez in motion to the right-hand side. Richardson facing a 5-man rush, just dumps it underneath. It's Chris Lee. That's not going to give him a 1st down. It picks up 6 yards, and now they have a decision to make with under 7 minutes to go in regulation.
Still too deep in their own territory. They have to punt this football away. If this was within maybe 4 minutes, I could see them going for it. But right now, you still have to punt this football away in hopes that your defense can step up.
Atlanta send the blitz for the punting team, and it's a fair catch called for and hauled in by McGee as we go back to SFL headquarters for another game break from the Skyhawks and Dragons. Cam, who has control of the skies?
It is a final, and Lyric Da Vinci in the first half with the touchdown. How about in the final seconds of this one with another touchdown? DC wins it, holds off Carolina's rally 24-17 in the final seconds. Another heartbreaker for the Skyhawks. Back to you in Atlanta.
Thank you, Cam. BDG here on the run, I should say, on first down, picks up 9 yards. And right, it's just unfortunate for Carolina. You almost go look at their acronym and think cardiac kids, and unfortunately that cardiac means cardiac arrest.
I used to call Queen City back in the day the cardiac kids, because they would have some close games and they would end up in heartbreaking loss fashion as well. But right now, 3 straight heartbreakers for Carolina. What's it going to take for them to get that first dub?
Something, anything, just something extraordinary is going to happen potentially for Carolina. Not saying they're doing anything wrong as Williams picks up the first down, but it just seems that a little extra oomph just hasn't been on their side early this season. Still 9 games to go in their season, still 9 games to go here for these two clubs after this game. Right now, it's looking like Atlanta is going to try and keep pace with Jacksonville in that division.
Yeah, who would have thought that Atlanta and Jacksonville, after the seasons they had last year, would be in the spot that they are after 3 weeks?
BDG nearly picks up another first down. They'll give him maybe 7.5 yards after Wyatt comes up with the stop. And, of course, the SFL champs from a season ago, the Florida Storm, play against the Toros tomorrow night. So we'll see if the Storm can keep pace with Jacksonville. But it's just a good feel story, both for Jacksonville and for Atlanta, who have Atlanta, of course, former SFL champions. Jacksonville been to a couple SFL championship games. It's a good run of form now for these two clubs as Williams picks up the first down.
Yeah, and again, Atlanta, throughout the rest of this game, I wouldn't be too surprised if we just see a bunch of BDG, a bunch of Thrilliums, and a little peppering in of Mitchell O'Brien. They're just going to shed this clock so they give LA no chance to get back in this game with a 3-score lead.
And off left side, BDG rolling with the defender, Yosef all over him, another 7-yard pickup. And something coming into this game, partner, for the Lycans, they just haven't really been able to contain the run. They usually average giving up near 160 yards a game in the last 2 games averaged. And tonight, just no different. Williams and BDG have just had away with them.
Yeah, and it came to that run game finally starting to get their feeling in the second quarter to get really involved. And now it's just exploded in the second half.
Second and short, as Dynasty will elect to try and milk as much clock as possible. Williams is turned inside out after a gain of 1 by TD Jack. Sets up 3rd and short.
Yeah, and again, I don't think Atlanta minds this, because the big important part for them is that they're just shedding the clock. Get that clock down to as little as possible. If they get stopped here, at least it's now down to 3.5 minutes left in this game.
Split backfield as LA try and pile nearly everybody into the box, expecting a run, anticipating the run. It is a run. BDG off to the races again. He's going to outrace Tazi Blackwell. Another score for Atlanta. And it's all but out of reach now for the Lycans.
Yeah, consider this the final silver bullet that's taken a hit to LA. And Atlanta just unstoppable from both ends of the football tonight. BDG seals the deal, almost gets himself to 150 yards in this game. Close to 500 yards of offense from LA. Just a masterclass of offense from the Swarm tonight at home.
Extra point is up and good from Steele. 49-20 the score now, and that's just the tail of the tape. The run game has been so good for the Swarm. 31 yards from BDG for the touchdown. Over 7.5 yards per play for Atlanta's offense. What a story for Atlanta, as here comes Bubba Tree on the return for LA. He gets all the way up to about the 28-yard line. Chris Delro in chat says, cheers, the two of the best commentators in the game with $5. Chris, we thank you so much. Thank you for spending your time with us tonight, and for everyone else out there, thanks for watching and listening. We still got a little bit left to go here, and especially for LA fans, you want to see your team not go down with a whimper. You want to see them maybe show a little bit of signs of life here at the end of this football game, show that you're willing to fight to the end. And so stick with us for another 3.5 minutes to see what Atlanta can do with no pressure now. Richardson is going to look over the middle, and that's a nice hookup. That's one of the feel-good stories of the game, partner, is Chris Lee has been phenomenal. 12 receptions, nearly 150 yards, and does have 2 touchdowns. All-stop pattern, that finds Jack Flash for 4 yards, and back to the line they come. This is what Atlanta was trying to do, and unfortunately it takes them until they get down by a bunch to start wheeling and dealing here. Pass right side, Flash again, 1st and 10 inside the 30-yard line. This is much better from the Lycans offense, from the 29-yard line now. Richardson, the offense getting a little tired. Quick hitter underneath to Pryor. This time it's knocked away and incomplete. That stops the hurry up for now.
Boy, there's a lot to unload here. First off, two of the best commentators of the game. Did Daggs and Smith just walk behind us or something?
Maybe.
I don't understand on that one. Secondly, it's the first time that we talked about Jack Flash in this game. He's got 2 receptions on that hurry up. Nice to see him get a little bit of action, but maybe a little too late from LA. But at least they're getting the ball going. Look at this, inside the 30.
Man rush, Richardson. Nearly a one-handed snag from Lee, but he was hit as he tried to haul it in. Chris Henry, amongst others. Again, Henry leading the way on the defensive backfield, and it's just been just too much in some cases for LA to handle.
Yeah, and it feels like the second half, that defense really clamped down for Atlanta, especially in the pass game. It's forced Sully into a lot of scenarios where he's had to pass the ball on double coverage. Interception.
Oh, taken away. Nathan Barnett, the former Sparrow. That's his first interception as a member of the Atlanta Swarm. And that just pretty much sums it up for LA. They tried their best, but unfortunately their best wasn't good enough tonight.
It's just tough to see. And again, pairing in to that thought process of how they've made Sully Richardson struggle. How about 5 of 15 in the second half from Sully Richardson after he was lights out in the first? So Atlanta's done great job, and again, caps it one more time, throw another interception marker in the form of Nathan Barnett.
Pitch play from BDG after the interception. He gets out of one. Joseph brings him down after a 5-yard gain. And for the Lycans, partner, it's unfortunate, as this was the rubber match. This is the 11th all-time meeting between the Swarm and the Lycans franchise, most of it taking place back at the Wildcats days. Only the second matchup since season 20. All their matchups, for the most part, very feisty matchups between season 13 and season 16, when it seemed like these two teams would always find a chance to meet with each other. And unfortunately, Atlanta will get their 3rd win of this matchup history here at home. It'll be their 6th all time, and the Swarm will have a little bit more feather in their cap against this Lycans franchise. Williams picks up 4. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Yeah, and more importantly, 2nd straight win all time as well for Atlanta, as we get the 2-minute warning. Looked very impressive in this fight.
2 minutes to go here in this one. Just some formalities and maybe a first down or two before Atlanta can get out of here with victory number 2. This is the SFL. 2 to go here from the Hive. Here in the 4th quarter, it's a 29-point lead for the Swarm. BDG on the pitch, left side. That's a first down. That's the first of 3 timeouts that'll be called for the Lycans. And that first down pretty much seals the game for the Swarm. And it's been a phenomenal game for the Swarm, and they really pulled away in the second half, partner. Lycans just unable to match pace especially after that touchdown from Steele, which we had a chance to get a second look at.
Yeah, up and down contest in that first half, and it just seemed like Atlanta had something figured out in the second half. LA has not scored in these last two quarters here, third and fourth quarter. They've been held scoreless because of that Atlanta defense. So that's great work on Atlanta's part, but LA has to look back on the drawing board and figure out what went wrong in the second half and try to fix that going back at home against Minnesota next week.
Momentum is such a crucial part of any sport, especially football, especially SFL football. BDG going nowhere. And Minnesota coming off of their win this past weekend, they moved to 1-1, and so the Lycans will have their work cut out for them as they play their Central Division foe, Atlanta. Now goes on a little bit of a road trip after this one-game homestand. They're going to knock out 4 out of their 6 away games before week 7, and so expect maybe a second half of home cooking for the most part here for the Swarm. But they go on a 2-game road trip, first to San Diego on February 4th, and then they'll go back across the country over to the Queen City Corsairs on February 9th as BDG picks up a couple more yards. Blackwell brings him down, and it'll be a punting situation here for Atlanta, and the Lycans will have one more shot on offense.
And you have to think from Atlanta's standpoint, going 2-1, heading to their mini road trip, moving forward to go see San Diego and Queen City. 2 teams, especially from San Diego's side, that have started to pick things up offensively as well and have a little bit of a defensive toughness to them too. Those are 2 tough matchups, and they can get 1 win out of that scenario. I think they call that a successful 14-day road trip.
Here comes the punt from Tom Sauerburn. Fair catch called for by Bubba Tree, and so the Lycans will start on their own 19-yard line. Brett, what are you looking for out of the Lycans here on this fight?
This one's pretty simple. It's a pride drive. You've got 80 yards to get to the end zone. I wouldn't be too surprised if Sully gets himself more throws down the field. He's already at 40 attempts in this game. I wouldn't be too surprised if he's flirting with 50.
Richardson will look to throw, looking near side. Iniguez is there, but it's off his fingertips. The massive hit from the defensive back, who's Papineau, and it brings up second down.
Yeah, and simply put, the inaccuracies in this second half continue to haunt Sully Richardson so far in this game. If he can try to find that accuracy again within the drive, get a string of like 5 straight completions, it might bring back the confidence in Sully.
Elsie Pryor on the reception. He gets it all the way up to the 34, maybe the 35-yard line, as Richardson will hustle his troops back to the line of scrimmage. 43 seconds and counting here in the ball game, and he will just spike it with 41 seconds to go. If the scoreline holds out as it is, it'll be the largest margin of victory for the Atlanta Swarm since week 13 of season 20, when they were able to score 48 punts and hold Tulsa to 10 for a margin of victory of 38. This one, a 29-point margin of victory. Five-man rush. Richardson looking into coverage, trying to find Chris Lee. Nothing doing. Third down.
Just a little bit too low of a throw from Richardson. Plain and simple. But he's got 2 more chances to at least get a first down. Just remember to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, just like what your doctors would say, your trainers would say, even what your mother would say, and just focus on getting a completion.
Empty backfield here for Richardson as Atlanta sent 5. Launching it and overshooting. Iniguez on the far sideline. He had a solid game. Last week versus Arizona, he had a decent showing. Here did Iniguez here tonight. 2 receptions, close to 50 yards. But something that tonight is going to be a hard pill to swallow, and lots of lessons learned coming out from tonight's contest here at the Hive. 36 seconds to go, 4th and 10. LA need to get past the 44-yard line in order to convert here on 4th down. Blitz coming, pass near side, it's hauled in, no. Pryor couldn't keep hold of it. Ball falls out of his arms, and that is going to conclude matters here as they turn it over on downs.
Yeah, that one is a tough pill to swallow for Pryor because he had full hands on the football, and it was just a simple bump as well. You think that he would have more secure hands, especially from a very soft Moose Papanow hit. But nonetheless, it falls to the turf, and now Atlanta can just kneel this ball away for the last 32 seconds and get themselves an official 2-1 record through the first 3 weeks of the season.
And what is really impressive, partner, is both these teams played to their strengths. Sully with his passing attack, he gets Chris Lee close to 150 yards in tonight's game, and Atlanta played to their strengths. They went on the ground and over 200 yards combined between the backs, including an over 150-yard rushing performance from BDG, and who also had a hat trick of touchdowns as well.
And the big thing for Atlanta is, how balanced that offense was and how well they managed to keep a hold of the clock after LA had some huge drives, especially in the second quarter when they had 13 and 11 play drives. They turned things around in the second half and demolished them.
That's your final whistle, 49-20, the take-home victory and move to 2-1. Lycans unfortunately fall to 0-3. It's a pretty nip and tuck game here at the end of it, but it wasn't so for the first 20 minutes. It was 21-20, and then Atlanta blanked him in the second half, partner.
Yeah, it's just a tale of how a defense can turn things around, forcing LA to 0 of 6 on 3rd down efficiency, turning 3 of 5 to 3 of 11, which is just crazy. The more important thing as well, every opportunity Atlanta had in the red zone, they ended in touchdowns. Possession game was huge. Run game was huge. They had all markers going from minute 1 to minute 40. Complete performance offensively from Atlanta. Great second half stoppage from Atlanta's defense to shut the door completely for LA, but a complete showing from Atlanta sees them almost get 500 yards of offense to a 49-20 victory.
And that'll do it for us here tonight. Of course, the Monday Night Spectacular between Fort Worth and Florida will happen tomorrow. The kickoff for that game was 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Of course, don't miss this week in the SFL with Cam and Mike O'Neill. For Bismarck Wright and Luke Schreiner in stats, and for Commissioner Cameron Irvine in production, I've been Tyler Falk. He's Brett Solberg. Signing off for now. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.